Testing, 1, 2, testing. Welcome to this episode of Raising Karen, the podcast to motivate, inspire, and educate parents raising kids with special needs.
Welcome to episode 25 of the Raising Karen podcast. I'm your host, Marsh Naidu, and today we chat with Emily Glasser, President and CEO of Achilles International. Achilles is a non-profit organization based in New York City whose mission is to serve adults as well as children with disabilities to promote mobility. Stay tuned for some awesome conversation. Welcome to this episode of Raising Karen, Emily. My name is Marsh, and we sincerely appreciate you being here with us today to tell us about Achilles International, as well as some of the projects you guys are involved with. But more interesting to me is some of the virtual programs that you guys offer. Here in Tennessee, as I'm sure it is in New York as well, we just don't know what's going to transpire this fall.
Absolutely. And so first, thank you for inviting me to be with you today. I'm really pleased to be here and talking to you, and have had a chance to listen to some of the Raising Kellen podcasts, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. So thank you for all that you do to share, your experience and the experience of other experts around, inclusion and so forth. So Achilles International is a nonprofit organization with a global footprint. We have a chapter network that exists not only in this country, but in 25 other countries across the globe. Our mission is to transform the lives of people with disabilities through athletic programs and social connection. Achilles is intent on making running in particular an inclusive activity and recreational choice into high-tech programs, because so much of what we do is about developing and nurturing our community and using the unifying power of sport to do that. So we have developed a lot of virtual content, accessible content, inclusive content for both our adult population and for our kids population. And we have some terrific virtual workouts that we've developed in-house. We have yoga workouts and stretching and cardio workouts led by some of our fantastic staff. And as you say, Marsh, I mean, we don't know what the fall is going to look like. Very likely it is at best a hybrid model, if not entirely remote. And we believe very firmly in the need to keep our kids and our community moving.
Absolutely. And guys, I would encourage you to pop over to achillesinternational.org, where you are going to meet some amazing people like Coach Janet and
Yes.
TH. These
Yes.
are 30-minute sessions where do you all use the Zoom platform, Emily, to bring the kids to her so that she can actually see the kids and the kids see her?
We do, Marsh. So we, first of all, the content, as you say, is on our website, www.achillesinternational.org. It's also on our YouTube channel. You can access it in both places, or join our Facebook page. And so we've recorded the content and we put it on the website and YouTube. We do have live workouts where that is accessed through Zoom. And we've also implemented with some frequency a live dance party with some of these coaches you've mentioned, which is just a really magnificent way to end the week, and in particular for the kids to dance together, and to just share, 20 minutes at the end of the week, getting their groove on.
Emily, before we get too far into it, can you give me a little background about how Achilles International came into being?
Sure. So, Marsh, Achilles was founded back in 1983 by an extraordinary man named Dick Traum. Dick Traum was the first uh, amputee to complete a marathon. He ran the New York City Marathon in 1976, so he is a legend. And it was that experience of training for the marathon and achieving completion of that distance that inspired him to share all the good feelings that he derived out of the process and achievement of that goal, to share that with other people with disabilities, recognizing that we all have the capacity for achievement. And in fact, it's such a critical part of our physical and mental health to keep moving. So it was really in the spirit of sharing that which he derived so much self confidence from, so much positive, impact in terms of his mental and physical health, and just a sense of accomplishment. So he started Achilles, and over the course of the last 35 plus years, we've grown now to being able to touch the lives of over 15,000 people with disabilities on an annual basis. And over the course of our existence, we've reached in excess of 150,000 athletes with disabilities. And that does not include, oh, hello there. that does that does not include for those who are listening. Kellen has just arrived to say hello, so I am just greeting this big smiling face right here and now.
Hi, and you go to toilet.
Hello there. It's what a treat to see that very handsome grin.
Emily, you're going to have to excuse me just for a second to get him sorted out. I apologize sincerely.
No worries.
Guys, as y'all can tell, we need a short break. When we come back, we are going to chat with Emily about some of the programs that are hosted by Achilles International. These guys have the best website, so go ahead and check them out at achillesinternational.org. And as always, we would appreciate a subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast carrier. So, Emily, without further ado, is going to be talking more about the programs that Achilles offers. You're 37 years old, aren't you?
We are. We've been around for a while. And so we have a very prominent presence at a lot of the marquee marathon and endurance events across the country. You'll find us on the course of the New York City Marathon, the Boston Marathon, the Detroit and Chicago marathons. So we've been present at those finish lines for decades. And in our kids program, we are in over 250 schools across the country, working with adaptive PE teachers to provide programming to children with disabilities across the country. We have a Run to Learn program where we provide teachers with materials and a course guide and other tracking tools so that their students can, over the course of the year, achieve a virtual marathon distance. And we integrate into that program, along with the teachers, other elements of the school curriculum, including geography and English and math, as we chart the marathon course in a particular school's area so that there's a contextual synchronization um, for the academic and the exercise or recreational component.
I, I absolutely love that, Emily, because we have been using the Try My Best Triathlon, which is a triathlon that is basically promoting activity, the bicycling, walking, and swimming for kids with disabilities. And this year, I know for sure that the St. Louis program has been canceled. And you know what? This virtual program will allow me and Karen to still do our therapy, which we obviously follow through every day, but it gives us a measure of where he stands in terms of his endurance and and to track his performance in an objective way.
And we're hoping that come the fall, we'll be able to provide a robust tracking system virtually to parents with all kinds of ways that a child can be rewarded and feel that sense of accomplishment for each segment that he or she completes along their way to finishing that virtual marathon.
Achilles International came under my radar after a podcast episode with Todd Williams, which was, I believe, episode 23. And Todd's a physical therapist as well as someone that really enjoys running. And I believe he completed the New York Marathon last year as a charity entrant
Okay.
for you guys and to bring awareness of Achilles International. So that's what's happening with this podcast, Emily. It starts off with one conversation, and whatever that person is involved with or has found helpful for them, we have now gone on to meet other great people and find out about other organizations. As I said, all primarily to help our parents help their kids. So
well, that's so wonderful. It's so wonderful, isn't it, that it's an organic kind of networking and expansion of understanding and sharing of resources and building upon conversations. I mean, that's just so wonderful and so beautiful. And people like Todd are so important in our community. Those ambassadors and advocates for Achilles, in particular, the runners who raise funds as they complete these endurance events across the country. We are so grateful to people like Todd and those who support him in his efforts to run the New York City Marathon on behalf of the Achilles International community. So
I have to mention this. I got through to you via Miss Fiona McKinney that put
correct.
us in contact. But thank you, Fiona, because she also invited me to a virtual get together where I got to see Karen Lewis. And what a remarkable woman.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
And I
Yeah.
believe a lot of the virtual kids program is something that she has
Yeah, she's like she's the Geppetto, behind Pinocchio. She's our puppet master, doing just every piece of these programs. She has a hand in, and thank goodness she does, because she is so talented, so creative, and cares so deeply about the children and the adults that we serve.
tell me a little bit more about the adults program. And I'm very curious as well. Within our geographic area, we do have a lot of veterans. So I understand you'll run a program for veterans with disabilities as well.
We do. So, Marcia, I had explained earlier that that Achilles has a global footprint, and our structure is one of a chapter network. We also have a portfolio of programs alongside that chapter network. And in that portfolio of programs, in addition to the Achilles Kids program and our fundamental running program, where we partner people with disabilities with support runners. We do, as you say, have an Achilles Freedom Team program that works with wounded, ill, or injured veterans, our nation's heroes who have come back from the theater of war and have suffered life-changing injuries. And we work with them to help them train for and cross the finish lines of these major events that I've described. And they're extraordinary human beings. I think in this moment we're living in, where resilience and grit, right, are so important and such valuable character traits. The members of our Achilles Freedom Team are the stewards of those, of those traits, and we learn so much from them and from their amazing stories of just strength and fortitude. And lastly, in the program, in our portfolio programs, we do have a triathlon team. We do have the Achilles Triathlon Team, and that's for those athletes who have been running with us and just they want that further challenge, right? The biking and the swimming components. They're not satisfied with just a marathon. They want to do it all. So that rounds out our programming.
For that parent out there listening today that wants to enroll their child in a program with Achilles International or get to use some of your guys' resources, what would be a pathway for them to engage with you all?
Sure. So first, I would I would guide them to our website. Again, it's www.achillesinternational.org. On the site, you will have access to all of our virtual workout content. As I said before, that's also on our YouTube channel, but I think our site's an excellent place to begin. So, and obviously that's available and accessible to everyone. So I would strongly encourage parents to take a look at that and engage their children in those activities. We're finding that they're having a real impact on the kids we serve. Additionally, for parents who are interested in bringing the program to their schools, please reach out. Again, on the site, you'll see Karen Lewis's contact info through the Achilles Kids program drop down in our navigation, and reach out to us to talk about bringing our program to the school. We just will connect with parents, teachers, and we'll take it from there. Our mission is to touch as many lives as possible. So, we look forward to continuing to expand our footprint across the country and reach as many kids as we can.
Emily, I thank you so much for your time. This has been phenomenal, and you have been so generous with your time. Thank you so much for being with us today. Any last words, ma'am, before we close out?
I would say, Marsh, I wish everyone good health and well-being, and just to keep moving and to keep your kids moving. And if we can be helpful in doing that and joining forces with you to do that, that's what Achilles is all about. It's about keeping everyone moving, providing the tools by which to do that. And so I hope people will reach out to us and take advantage, pardon me, of the resources we provide on our site.
Guys, we have come to the end of yet another podcast of Raising Killen. It is the end of July, and even though the dog days of summer are still upon us, the new school year is about to start soon. For those of us out there in the US whose children have a IEP or an individualized education plan, what are your plans for the new school year? I would love to know about them, and I'm sure our community would as well. You can reach out to us via Facebook at the raisingkillen.org page or on Instagram at raising_killen. At a minimum, guys, if you'll decide to homeschool your kids, check out achillesinternational.org for a framework of mobility exercises in their virtual kids program. Or if you'll decide that your kids are going to school, hey, there's no such thing as too much exercise. I would still check that site out. So their website again is achillesinternational.org. What a great resource, and especially for this particular moment in time. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And actually, you know what? This is an unusual time, and I would normally record these segments late at night with little to no interruption. But things have changed, and most of these recordings are now being done during the day. So, pardon our earlier interruption. And actually, I am sure Killen is going to enjoy signing off.
Well, guys, until we see you the next time on the meeting, Karen Joel signing off. Remember, always get to the top of the score march, and bye, guys.